Hello, everyone. This is Jeller again, coming back with another episode in the randomized Dragon Age Origins series. However, funny story. When I was recording this series, when I was streaming on Twitch, I accidentally, well, not really accidentally, I did it on purpose, but I didn't realize what would happen. I streamed the second episode where I went through this whole part in Ostagar, well, up to when I was done with my joining. And then I realized, oh no, I was also uploading a YouTube video at the same time, the YouTube video for the first part. And what ended happening without my knowledge, because I didn't fully check my stream, was that I was my video and audio were extremely choppy because obviously I was basically uploading two things at the same time, and my internet speed was really not up for that. So that's what ended up happening. I had to, and even worse than that, actually, I don't really save my game in a lot of different save files. So, if you're gonna look here, I really just have this origin save, and then I have autosaves, and then I have this other save that I did now. But usually, I'm just going to have one save file that's going to have the character's name, and then if I'm at a point where I am about to make a difficult decision and I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to agree with the consequences of that decision, I might want to turn back. I might save somewhere there, like, oh, before killing this NPC or something like that. But otherwise, I really just have one save file with the character's name. I don't even have a backup, which that's kind of dumb because you can corrupt save files quite easily, especially when playing with mods. So I really should have had at least a second save file, but I didn't. So I played through the whole of Ostagar, and up until I finished my joining, so not the full of Ostagar, I guess, not the full thing. And then I saved it, and I was like, well, I had a good stream. It was great. I was going to upload it. And then yesterday I was trying to upload the video on YouTube. Well, I was trying to edit it first. And I realized, uh-oh, it's choppy pretty much everywhere for like a full hour of gameplay. Because if it had been just, 10 minutes or so of gameplay, I would have just cut that part out of the video, explained that, I was going to start a little bit later than where we left off, and that was going to be that because I had those issues. But then, the YouTube uploading took way longer than I expected, and it was just, not the greatest thing. Thankfully, I'm really adept at playing this game from the beginning, and so I played really quickly through the origin story. I think it took me like 20 minutes at most, probably closer to 15. And I just finished that. Unfortunately, I still have to get through this. Wait, I did forget. I did go on easy mode through the origin because there was no reason to go through hard mode to just do the same thing again. So I've moved it. I've moved it back. I've moved it back to nightmare mode. It doesn't really nightmare difficulty doesn't really affect anything you do socially speaking, or like any sort of stealing that you do or persuading or anything like that. It's not affected by the game's difficulty. The only thing affected by the game's difficulty is combat related things, because mainly the difficulty setting, what it does, unfortunately, it's a bit boring, I guess, because of what a difficulty setting does, at least in Dragon Age Origins, but in a lot of RPGs, it really just increases the health of enemies, and it also increases either the damage that they do or the likelihood that they're going to hit you. Like it increases their attack score or whatever. It doesn't really it doesn't really do much else. It doesn't give them maybe some interesting new abilities to hit you with, or something like better AI, because AI is probably difficult to code as it is, and so they don't want to make it even more complicated by adding extra stuff to the mix. But I did like something that they did for Dragon Age Inquisition, where they added trials quite some time after releasing the game. And the trials, one of the trials that you can turn on or off in the game, is actually something that does give certain enemies new abilities, new and dangerous abilities. I know that at some point I was playing, I think, on hard because I was quite comfortable with Dragon Age Inquisition, and I wanted to see, if it was any more like actually challenging on hard mode. And I also had that trial turned on, and I was not able to kill a particular enemy. They were just completely not immune to my damage, but there came a point where I had gotten them low health. Then I think they put up a barrier of some kind that was a magical barrier, and I think I needed specifically a type of damage, a type of magical damage to take that barrier down quicker than it would regenerate, and I actually couldn't do that. So basically, I had to reload a save and turn that trial off to be able to kill that enemy because they were just unkillable. Anyway, let's talk to a prisoner here. I really like this guy. He was not even deserting, but then people thought he was deserting and put him in a cage. And he's about to be executed, or well, at least he's supposed to be executed soon. But he's going to tell us the story himself.
Huh. Someone finally comes and talks to the lone prisoner. I don't suppose you've come to sentence me?
You haven't been sentenced?
No. They put someone like me in a cage until someone important has time to decide what to do with me. I don't suppose you have a bit of kindness in you? All I want is food and water. They haven't fed me since I was locked up and I'm starving.
Why would I want to help you?
Because you might want something I don't need. Them circle wizards got a chest they keep things in. Magical things. And I stole the key. That's why I'm here. I got one of them drunk, took his key and tried to sneak to the chest. They assumed I was deserting. I can't use it from here. But I'd trade you for some food and water.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Just ask my guard for his. He's still got some dinner. I saw him put it in his coat.
We're not going to ask the guard. We're just going to take it. We're just going to steal it. What I do find kind of funny, I guess, in a way, and kind of really weird in a way, is that this guy's just in his underwear. Like, why did they just fully strip him and then not allow him to wear any clothing in this cage? Like, we are in an area that's like a forest. I don't think it's summer, and even if it was summer, in a forest, it's not quite that warm. Everyone in here is in full armor, whether metal or leather or full robes, and this guy is just fully naked. They didn't even have some shitty just servant clothing or something to give him, if because maybe they took away his armor, but they could have given him some clothing. Anyway, let's give him the food.
So? Brought me some food, have you? I'm so hungry I could faint dead away.
Here's some food.
Much obliged. May Andraste herself rain blessings upon you. And, as I mentioned, here's the key. Use it in good health, huh?
Yeah. So it's kind of sad. I wish there was a way to help him escape, because then as it gets later in the story, there's a battle upcoming, right? And still he's there. No one, I don't think anyone has taken care of him. I don't think anyone has you know executed him or decided his fate. But he's just there, and then if the Darkspawn overrun the army, how is he gonna escape? Like, does someone help him escape? Maybe someone who is behind in caps sees him and helps him. I don't know.
You there, elf. What's your name?
It's Pick, sir.
Go tell Turn Logain that the war party's ready to begin scouting. We'll send word if we find anything amiss.
Yes, sir. Hello. I'm sorry. Is there something you needed?
This is I always love to get this. It's just some guy, some poor elven servant. He's probably gonna get in a lot of trouble, but it's a really really good early game weapon.
I deliver messages around the camp. Do you have a message for me?
Yes, I do.
Then what is... Oh, wait. Are you the one I'm supposed to give Sir Garland's sword to? Because I think the smith's done with it.
Absolutely. Yes, you're supposed to give the sword to me.
Oh, that's such a relief. You really saved me from the switch for sure.
Mm.
I'd best get back to my duties again before I get in more trouble.
For sure. I saved you from getting beaten up. Absolutely. It's not like s- that guard is gonna that knight is gonna get super upset for the fact that he doesn't have this weapon. It even says in the in the flavor text, somewhere on the field there is a bewildered knight fighting with his dinner fork. Pity him. And I mean, I don't really pity him, because, well, everyone from the king's army, mainly, like, I think there's a few survivors, but basically everyone from the king's army ends up dying to the hands of the dark spawn. This guy having a sword would really not make a difference. And honestly, if he didn't have a sword and he couldn't get one from the army camp, he should just run away. He should just desert, right? I wouldn't go into battle to fight the darkspawn if I didn't have at least one weapon, at least a sword, a mace, something. Okay, let's go meet Davith.
Well, you're not what I thought you'd be.
And who are you?
The name's Davith. It's about bloody time you came along. I was beginning to think they'd cooked this ritual up just for our benefit.
Isn't that a little paranoid?
Huh, that depends on what kind of life you've led. Me, I'm perfectly willing to accept that this joining is some kind of punishment. I happened to be sneaking around camp last night, see, and I heard a couple of Grey Wardens talking. So, I listened in for a bit. I'm thinking they plan to send us into the wilds.
Maybe they will. We'll see.
It's all too secretive for me. Makes my nose twitch. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like we have a choice.
They're forcing you to be here?
I've got nowhere else to go after what Duncan saved me from. Anyway, I expect it's time to get back to Duncan. That's where I'll be if you need me for anything.
I quite like Davith. I kind of wish that they made him a full companion. I'm a bit confused as to why he doesn't survive the joining, because Duncan seems to have found he should be strong enough, that he seems good in terms of capability, and Duncan decided to save him from, I think he was caught by the city guards from stealing or something. He was a cut purse, a pickpocket, or maybe a lockpicker as well. I don't know. So it's fairly interesting. As well, you can actually talk to him, and he has a decent amount of dialogue about where he's from, what his life was like. Maybe, I don't know, stuff like that. I never actually tried to ask him everything. We can try, but I think I would have liked Davis as a rogue. And seeing as there's only two rogues in the game, Liliana and Zevran, he would have been a nice addition. Maybe you only get two mages in Wynn and Morrigan, but it would have been nice to get at least the three rogues as well. If you get three warriors, sort of naturally you get Alistair, Sten, and Ogren. You also can get Loghain in the last part of the game, and if you have the DLC, which you probably do at this point, if you have the game, it's very very cheap to get the Ultimate Edition and have the DLC, have all the DLCs. You probably then also have Shale, who's a sort of golem. Of course, it's a little bit of a different class because she's a golem, and so she has golem abilities, but it's still basically a warrior, whether for a warrior that deals mainly deals damage, or a warrior that tanks, and emboldens allies and stuff like that.
Have you seen an elf running about? Young woman, red hair, carrying a suit of chain.
Can't say I have, no.
Blast it. Where did she go? That suit better be patched up when she gets back, or by the maker of... Oh, pardon my manners. My troubles are no concern of yours, I'm sure. I'm the quartermaster. Did you come for supplies?
What kind of supplies do you have?
Arms and armor, for the most part. It's for the King's men, but you Grey Wardens can buy what you need for a modest price. I also have some goods on the side I can provide. Strictly off the record, of course.
Of
To
course.
keep morale up, you understand.
Yeah. Let's look at your other goods.
So long as you keep it quiet.
I mean, unfortunately, you're probably going to be dead along, you know, most everyone else who is part of this, part of this army and army camp. Maybe the merchants, these people, the nurses, the merchants, maybe they manage to run away if they realize that things aren't going well for the main army. But I don't know. I don't want rough things. Uh, you might not recognize what I have in my inventory, some of the things that I have in my inventory, obviously, because of the fact that I played through the origin again, and I might have looted different things because the loot is, randomized and to some degree, other than certain things that are fixed. Otherwise, it's quite randomized. So might have some things like I don't remember having cured studded leather armor before in the previous playthrough, the previous version of this, but here it is. I have studded leather armor. He has some heavy chainmail, some heavy armor, but seeing as we're only going to be using Sten as a warrior, I think we're fine on that. We're going to just get some heavy armor in Lothering for free, just for killing some bandits, and then we can get some better, even better heavy armor than that. We're not going to need any lyrium potions. But now there is, I think, a quest to help some mages, and you need lyrium potions. The thing is, however, that you don't actually need big lyrium potions. You can do that quest with lesser lyrium potions. It's just going to try to get whatever type of potions you have, like the sort of the bigger type of potions that you have first. There's also a quest to give some mercenaries, a group of mercenaries, health poultices, and if you have the right amount of health poultices in a higher batch, in a higher quality batch, they're going to take that. So try to make sure that you don't have that many when you do the quest, because otherwise, they're going to take a lot of stuff, and not give you a lot of money in return, and it's not going to be worth it to finish that quest. So you can finish quests with lesser quality potions, at least in this game. There's just a few quests that ask for lyrium potions, health potions, but you can finish them. You can get some experience, some money, and that is worth it if you can do them with a lesser variety. Right. So we have this belt that we looted off of this guy. The fun thing would be when we come back from the wilds with everyone else, we can also steal the belt again from him. Possibly. I'm not sure if it works. It might work because basically when we come back to the army camp, it's going to be evening, and that's basically a different version of the area. So a lot of the things, even the stealing targets, um, like even him and other stealing targets, they reset, so you can steal from them again. We're not going to be doing that; it's a bit boring. But if we see someone with a yellow name, those are sort of higher level targets, so we could steal maybe something more valuable from them. And he has this particular item that you can steal, which is Hardy's Belt, which adds +1 to Constitution, which right now, I mean, it's not really a lot. Constitution just increases your health by 5, and it contributes to physical resistance a little bit. But right now, extra 5 points of health is really not bad, especially on Nightmare difficulty. So we'll take what we can get. Let's also check his normal stock.
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps?
Yeah, let me see what I
Anything
have.
you like?
All right. Um, Unfortunately, he doesn't really have any items that are good quality enough. Like the best he has is gray iron. This is Sir Garland's sword is really good because it has attack and physical resistance. And physical resistance is one of the best things you can have, especially for a tank in the game. So we're going to be trying to get some items for. Oh, and we can sell Father's formal armor because we can't wear it. I mean, we're not going to wear it because we're a rogue, and it's heavy armor, and it gives us quite a decent amount of money. For now, I see this studded helmet is rough. We don't really want that, but there are studded leather gloves. I do think, however, when Davith and Sir Jory die from the joining, you do get their gear. So I think we're going to not buy anything from him other than potions or something like that. Potions which are really useful. Honestly, injury kits are also decently useful. I just don't know necessarily that I want to, and we're also going to buy snacks for our dog because unfortunately you can't give your dog potions. So the only thing that a dog can use um, to heal themselves is, well, I guess to heal himself. It's a male dog as far as I know. Um, so the only thing that the dog can use is special dog treats, Mabari Crunch, Scooby snacks. So we're gonna have to keep that. I also bought the toxin extract, if you noticed. That one I only bought because there is a quest in Denerim where you're asked to provide 15 pieces of toxin extract, 15 samples of toxin extract. Let's speak to Sir Jory. He's a little bit of a tool, but it's fine.
Greetings. You must be the third recruit we've heard about.
I am. Who are you?
Sir Jury is my name. I hail from Redcliffe, where I served as knight under the command of our layman. You have the bearing of a man who knows how to fight. If I may ask, were you a soldier before you came here?
I'd rather not talk about that.
As you wish. Tell me, has anyone told you what this joining ritual entails?
Well, only that it's dangerous.
I never heard of such a ritual. I had no idea there were more tests after getting recruited. I suppose since you're finally here, I'd best get back to Duncan. I shall see you there.
Yeah, like he is. And well, when speaking to a human, especially a human man, he is not that terrible. Sir Jory is not that terrible, but when he speaks to a woman, when he speaks to an elf, when he speaks to a dwarf, he's like, "Oh, I wasn't aware women could become Grey Wardens," and I'm just like, "Oh, you know." Like, oh, I wasn't aware elves could become Grey Wardens, and I'm just like, you were this close to calling my character a knife eater, right? It's just like that kind of thing, and like I do get it. I do understand these kind of characters do exist in a world like this, and it's obviously some of them are quite capable in terms of combat and battle and strategy and the like. Doesn't mean they're not assholes. um, I just it's kind of annoying, for that to be one of the first characters that you see in the game and that you are presented with that character in the sense that they're probably like they're about to be your companions, they're about to be part of the same organization that you're going to be part of, and it's a little bit, it makes you reconsider whether you really want to be a Great Warden or not when those are the kinds of people that you are paired up with. You're paired with a cut purse who, you may not be bothered by necessarily, even though if you if you stand next to him, he when you first go by Davith, he's actually speaking to a woman, and he is trying to get into her pants and be like, "Any last wishes I can fulfill before going into battle?" Blah blah blah. He's a little bit of sleazy as well. So and then you meet Alistair, who is not the best, but he's not the worst. At least out of the three, he's okay.
Now, haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle? I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together.
I think our character is a little bit of a just a little bit of an asshole himself, obviously, since he's going to be selfish. So I know exactly what you mean.
Party. We could all stand in a circle and hold hands. That would give the Darkspawn something to think about. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage?
We haven't met. You must be Alistair.
And that makes you Duncan's new recruit, I suppose.
I can prepare on my own.
I know. I felt the same way when I did this. Unfortunately, they don't give us much choice. So I'm curious. Have you ever actually encountered Darkspawn before?
Nope, I haven't.
When I fought my first one, I wasn't prepared for how monstrous it was. I can't say I'm looking forward to encountering another. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started.
Let's go.
If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, lead on.
Yeah, so the thing about Darkspawn is I really, really like the story behind them. I think we need 24 dexterity. Just give me a second here. For momentum, yes, we require 24 dexterity. So, and we obviously need combat training. But I also want to add to my strength a little bit. I do want to go to get my strength up, right? So add to my dexterity. Combat movement is pretty good because well, it's level 4. It's really good to get these particular first three ones in the rogue tree as quickly as you can. Whenever they become available, you should be getting them. Feign death, not so much. It's not really like if a lot of enemies are attacking you, feign death is kind of useful to drop dead basically to pretend that you're dead and then attack someone else. Let the tank take the aggro and then come back up. It's not terrible, but it's also not the best ability. You could be maybe using stealth to to go sneak maybe, or something else like that, or having your having your warrior do a taunt or something that actively increases the aggression of enemies upon them. But combat movement and coup de grace, they're very, very good. Combat movement particularly makes you able to sort of do backstab like strikes from a wider sort of angle. You don't need to be exactly behind an enemy because that can get a little bit tricky. um, so combat movement, really, really useful. Coup de grace, very, very useful. In terms of the secondary thing, below the belt and deadly strike, they're not very good. They don't really do enough damage to warrant you using them, but if you really want to use them, you can. And then lethality is something that most rogues will really, really appreciate because if they have a higher cunning score than a strength score, then you can use your cunning modifier to affect the attack damage that you do with a particular weapon instead of the strength modifier. Usually, um, weapons have particular attribute modifiers that they use, and it's usually strength or strength and dexterity. There's nothing that really just scales with dexterity as far as I'm aware. Even maybe daggers. Maybe daggers. I'm not sure. But even so, I think even daggers might still scale with strength to some extent. So it's really good to have dexterity for daggers if you're just going to use daggers. But otherwise, if you're maybe also using a long sword or an axe as a main weapon, you might want to you might still put a lot of points in your cunning, which and then your cunning is going to be higher than your strength score. So you're probably going to want to take lethality, and as well, you should probably take in that case you should probably take lethality as quickly as you can as well. So just after coup de grace, try to get lethality as well. So try to get these three. Evasion is usually something that most people playing vanilla Dragon Age Origins are going to tell you not to take, because evasion does a thing where it adds a particular evasion animation instead of just increasing your chance to dodge something naturally. But I believe that one of the fix mods that I have, either Quinn's fixback, Ultimate Fixback, or the other one that I don't remember, Dane's fixback, I think, one of those. I think it fixes whatever was wrong with evasion, and it makes it actually viable to use. So if you're using these particular mods that fix things in Dragon Age Origins, you should be able to use evasion without that being something that might fuck up your run if you're trying to do one of those solo nightmare runs or something similar. We're going to keep Alistair to be a Templar. See, he's level 4. You usually get a specialization at level 7, the first one. But since he has a particular background that lets him be that it allows him to have this Templar specialization beforehand. We really want a lot of strength for him, and then we will increase his dexterity to a certain extent. I think we do need someone in our party already to know how to make potions, because we're going to be using quite a few potions in the wilds. Not for every single fight, but there will be certain fights that we will need to use. I need him to know Threaten. And then the thing about this is each of the Templars melee hits against an enemy spellcaster drains that enemy's mana. That's pretty good. I'm just not sure that he's actually going to be able to reach the one spellcaster that we're going to fight against in this one. I think I might want to give him shield cover, which it just has an upkeep of stamina that you need and adds a little bit to your fatigue, but it just provides a greater chance of deflecting missile attacks, which is really, really good. And it doesn't give you any penalty to your attack or something, because there's another ability that you can use. There's a few abilities you can use as a warrior, as a weapon and shield warrior, to protect yourself. The shield defense one gives you a penalty to attack, and shield wall reduces your damage. Shield wall, however, I do think is quite good because it reduces your damage, but you're supposed to be the tank of the party anyway. So if you're doing your job, if you're taking the damage, then that's good. We can't take the chest right now because there's someone like literally next to it, but we'll come to that later. Let me think. I think we haven't gotten to this area, so I'll just show you around, show you what else is there to see in camp. What else there is to see in camp, sorry. There is this guy. This guy's just showing the soldiers what Darkspawn look like, because this is obviously not something that it's not the kind of creature that most people see, normally speaking. Darkspawn usually only ever come to the surface during these particular blights when an archdemon rises. So it's something that soldiers should be aware of. You're supposed to not get their blood anywhere on you. I think you're not supposed to get their blood anywhere on an open wound that you may have. I believe these two soldiers you can steal something from. Everyone else, I'm not sure. Yeah. And then the sergeant also has a yellow name, which means that he is an elite. Wow, he is actually so elite that we failed to steal from him. And I don't actually have any kind of item that increases my cunning any more than we currently have it. I can try. Yeah. So, okay, so we did manage to save from him the second time. There's a chance that you can fail, obviously, if the target has a sort of high DC, I guess, in terms of D&D. I don't know how else to describe it. There's a particular um, difficulty of stealing that there is. And now, because we failed once, this knight is going to fucking tell on us to Duncan.
No, there's not. My man caught him with his hand in his pocket.
Careful. You're talking about a Grey Warden. I would trust his word over your man. In any event, I vouch for the good conduct of all the wardens here. Are we clear?
Yes, Warden.
basically, I'm not sure if the conversation is going to actually trigger, but basically, after this happens, if you talk to Duncan, he basically tells you it's fine to steal, you just have to not get caught. You just have to be good enough to not get caught, because otherwise, you're going to get in trouble.
You found Alistair?
Okay.
Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother has her strength. The way she wields guilt makes it stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the maids, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then, since you're all here, we can begin. You four will be heading into the Kokari Wilds to perform two tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of darkspawn blood, one for each recruit.
What do we need the Darkspawn blood for?
For the joining itself. I'll explain more once you've returned.
And what's the second task?
There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can.
What kind of scrolls are these?
Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with.
Right. Find the archive and 3 vials of blood. Understood.
Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
And may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
I believe I mentioned this. I have that mod that allows me to customize followers whenever I receive them for the first time in my party. I think, yeah, I think I explained this when I was leveling up Sir Gilmore in the Origin. But just in case someone hasn't watched the first video and you're just joining me now, that's what I have. I do have a mod that allows me to fully customize um, the it allows me to fully customize the attributes and talents and everything of my followers. I think aim is pretty good. I think aim is probably useful. I am wondering if you can both aim and rapid shot at the same time. I guess we'll have to find out. I don't really play archers because I'm really bad at doing that. Um, let's go with some stealth as well. Let me just try something out just quick before we go into the wilds. We want a lot of strength. I don't think that increasing Jory's dexterity by a little bit is going to do much in terms of him not getting hit. So I'm actually going to increase his constitution to give him some extra health and physical resistance. And then we're going to give him expert combat training, make him powerful, make him threaten, and then okay, I do need 28 strength for stunning blows. Stunning blows is really good. It means that each attack offers a chance to stun the opponent because of the huge ass weapon that he's going to be wielding. So, okay, I'll be taking 2 points away from Constitution and giving them to his strength. I want him to have stunning blows. Yes, because see, then there's also shattering blows that you can have, which means that you gain a large damage bonus against golems and other constructs. But since we're not going to be fighting any constructs, he doesn't actually need that, so we can give him threaten. And then I do like Sunder Arms because it makes the target suffer a penalty to attack, so it's less likely to be able to hit you or anyone else. So we're gonna give him that. Now you may notice that I have stealth available also for warriors. This is because of another mod that I have. I don't remember what it is, but basically it allows both mages and warriors to have a way to use stealth. And I believe that it gives it it scales your ability to stealth with willpower and possibly something like dexterity for willpower for mages and possibly dexterity for warriors. I think that's what it does. Because you know, in other role-playing games such as D&D, even if you are a warrior, you still have the ability to try to stealth. Okay, I just wanted to see if you had like level 1 in stealth, if the tranquil mage was able to see you, try to steal from his chest. Um, so he can indeed see that. I think you need to have possibly level 2 in stealth. Davith is going to be um, Davith is going to be an archer, and Jory's going to be a two-handed warrior. So that's why I just took away from them the the other weapons because they're not going to be using them. I will give Alistair Sir Garland's sword because it gives him physical resistance mainly, which is really good. He might be able to withstand the huge ass fireball that we're going to get in our faces soon. Let's also give them some tactics because I'm not going to be micromanaging them most of the time. Joy's going to be a defender. I'm a scrapper. I don't believe I have anything else, yeah. Alistair is going to be a defender as well, and Davith is going to be an archer. I think we're also going to try to activate aim. So we're going to be trying to activate. Okay, so you can't actually activate aim and rapid shot at the same time. So we're going to be just deactivating this one because it doesn't matter. So we're just going to try to activate aim. I think rapid shot is probably okay. Um, if you have a bow that does a lot of kind of damage, base damage, and you want to do a lot of, like you have a bow maybe that has a lot of runes. I'm not even sure if bows can have runes in this game. I think they can. I don't think any bow that we have has any runes. I'm not sure, but I think that for bows that have like a super high sort of base damage, you might be able to do stuff with rapid shot. But aim is something that it decreases the rate of fire, but it grants bonuses to attack damage, armor penetration, and critical chance, which is really really good. Those are a lot of bonuses that you get, and I don't think that the the penalty to attack speed is that bad. Okay, let's save and let's say before wilds in here. I don't believe I can buy any more elf fruit than I have, but we're gonna be making some health poultices because we're gonna be needing them. I also want to put these health poultices in everyone's quick bar so that I can easily use them without having to open my inventory every single time to click on that, because we will really, really need that. We can actually, well, not everyone has that. I was going to say we can actually put it in the other character's tactics that when they get to 25% health or less, they drink a potion. Unfortunately, I think that Jory and Alistair actually don't have enough space for that. It would just be Davith. But I guess you know what, we can do it. I'll show you. It says if you. I think I also have better tactics, advanced tactics in here, so there are some extra things. But this is something you can do in the vanilla game as well. You click on self health, and you say smaller than, well, let's say smaller than 30%, and you say use item lesser health poultice, or if you want to make sure that they can use potions even if you run out of a particular type of potion, you can say use health poultice least powerful or most powerful first. It's gonna use the most powerful or least powerful, and then go up as it may be. If there's no more of lesser, they're gonna use normal ones, and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool. Let's go.
Hail. I'm told you all have business in the wilds. The gate's open for you. Just be careful out there. Even a Grey Warden won't be safe in the forest for long.
I hope that I managed to make my character similar enough to how he used to be. Like I genuinely looked at him, and I think I even took a picture of him with my phone from the other save file and tried to remake him. And I know that he had this, like I know that the his portrait is slightly off. You know, it's slightly different than the one I managed to get for him in the first playthrough. But well, okay, the wolf voice, the wolf. I'm not even sure if that counts as dialogue or sound effects. I really don't know. But wolves are always so loud in this game. After I fight these wolves, I am going to just check my settings to make sure that everything's right. I'm sorry, I do need to turn everything down in the wilds. I think it might just also be a matter of some areas that in some areas the sound is kind of fucked up. I thought I had combat movement. I thought okay. Like I think it might just be that the sound is mixed improperly in some areas. You heard how things were in the camp, in the army camp, and it was fine. The music was just in the background, it wasn't bothering me. But then suddenly, when you're here and you're fighting, it's way louder than it is in the origin story as well. I don't know. Let's help this poor guy. You know, I will just say, let me just pause the game. If you just pass him by without interacting with him, he's actually going to die. And then he usually drops a low piece of armor, which I don't know if you're doing a specific run in which you might need every little bit of gold that you can muster, like you're trying to get as much gold, the most possible gold that you can get without cheating, without doing any exploits. You might want to just let him die, so you might want to pass him by. Now it's also funny in a morbid way, I guess. It's not funny at all, but like it is funny if you're playing a sort of evil character. You can interact with him, and you can actually kill him. You can you can say we don't have time for this to Alistair, and then you can actually kill the guy and say, see, I told you, see, I said we don't have time for this, or like, see, he's already dead. It's fine. We don't need to do anything. Uh, we're not gonna do that because we're not that kind of selfish character, and like I think way it's way more difficult and it's a lot more effort to kill him than to just let Alistair bandage him up. So let's just interact with him, save his life. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just realized that this dying soldier is voiced by the same guy who voices Cole in Dragon Age Inquisition. That's very funny. I had no idea until now, until I heard him, and then I was like, wait a second, I recognize that voice. It's Cole. There's also a dwarf guy, and I think a few different NPCs in Dragon Age Origins, but a particular dwarf guy in Orzammar that's shouting things about Harrowmount or about Balin, one of the two, and that guy is voiced by Gideon Emery, I think his name is, who is the voice actor of Fenris. So just some fun facts. There's some actors in Dragon Age Origins doing voices in Dragon Age Origins who end up having much more important roles later in the series. Let's try to bandage him up. So we just what is going on with the music? That was super loud. Like, see, you could barely hear him. What was that? We're far from helpless here. We'll be fine.
I still do not relish the thought of encountering an army.
Know this. All great wardens can sense darkspawn. Whatever their cunning, I guarantee they won't take us by surprise. That's why I'm here.
You see, Sir Knight, we might die, but we'll be warned about it first.
That is reassuring.
That doesn't mean I'm here to make this easy, however. So let's get a move on.
Now, it's very funny that Alistair says that whatever they're cunning, you can sense Darkspawn, because in the base game, in the vanilla game, without any fixes, there are a shit ton of stealthed Darkspawn that come out of nowhere, that appear out of nowhere and start attacking you. And Alistair does not say shit about them. However, he was originally meant to say stuff about them. He was originally meant to warn you and mention, be careful, Darkspawn around, you know, prepare for an attack. And he does, the people who made the fix managed to get those voice lines that he had, he had prepared, and they managed to get those voice lines back in. And so, now he actually says that you might hear in my game. I'm gonna try to turn my dialogue volume back up. Hopefully, it's not gonna make the voices of Darkspawn super loud. But you might hear him go and say something like that. There's Darkspawn around when we're about to be hit by a stealth attack. I'm just gonna go to one of these, stun him, stab him. I'm hoping that Davith can actually hit things from. Oh shit! I was not looking at my character's health. My bad. That's my bad. Let's have Jory drink a potion. We don't want now. See, the thing is, I could normally let them die. Not let them die, but let them go unconscious. The problem with letting them go unconscious is that they get injuries. So my character's going to get an injury, and those injuries tend to be really, really bad, especially if they stack up. Because you can get an injury that you can, the first injury you get is, oh, penalty to your cunning or something, and you're like, well, I didn't have that much cunning to begin with, or I'm a warrior, I don't use cunning, so it's fine. But you'll find that there's terrible, terrible things that you get penalty to fatigue, you get penalty to damage, you get penalty to cunning, you get penalty to strength, to everything. You can really get penalty, I believe, to anything. I really, really like these injuries, and you can, only remove them by using an injury kit or by visiting the party camp, to which obviously we don't have access to right now. Um, right now, I have a penalty to fatigue. That's not terrible. That's actually fine. It just, I think it just um, determines my stamina, how much stamina I have available, and that's fine because right now we really just have two activated abilities. We have the dual weapon sweep, and we have the dirty fighting thing that's like super cheap, and both of them are quite cheap. So we're not going to be running out of stamina anytime soon. So we're all right with this particular injury. Let's kill some more darkspawn, and hopefully this time I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm not going to be attacked so much, but I seem to be targeted quite a bit. Now, as a rogue, you really don't want to be targeted that much, especially in the beginning, because as a rogue, generally speaking, you're squishier than you're squishier than I was gonna say than Alistairs. You're squishier than warriors, um, and you also don't have um, you don't have very heavy armor. The problem with us is that we do have medium armor that's sort of mainly of steel. For some reason, the gloves are gray iron. However, when Alistair has just like tier 2 medium armor, and Jory as well just has tier 2 medium armor. So we're really, in terms of armor, we seem, we are. Okay, Alistair didn't say anything about these particular Darkspawn, even though there is a group of stealth Darkspawn over here that usually attacks you. I don't know for now why we're not getting attacked. Like I'm just okay. They did appear. It was just a there was just a very big delay. Ah, look at that! Did you see that? We dodged the we dodged that Darkspawn's attack with our sword, with our dagger. That's pretty cool. Like I understand, from the perspective of extra animations costing you time, in which, even though you're dodging one attack, it probably means that you're not dodging something else that is attacking you. I do understand. I obviously understand how that can really fuck up your playthrough. I don't actually think, though, that Nightmare difficulty is that difficult when you have a full party. It is difficult if you are putting extra restrictions on yourself, such as using no mages. Well, in my case, that ended up being a restriction that is going to happen. So we're not going to have any mages in our main party. So other than in particular quest places where we're going to need to use mages, and I think that's really just in the mage tower where we need to have Win in our party. Otherwise, we don't actually need to have. We're not going to be using any mages in the party. And that's really, that makes any run in Dragon Age Origins more difficult. Mages are extremely powerful. Many people would say absolutely overpowered. Like there is a particular type of um, there's a particular type of ability, of a spell in the game called Mana Clash, I think, which can do insane amounts of damage to, I think, enemy spellcaster. I'm not sure if it's enemy spellcasters or demons as well, because I think it's something like that. I think it can affect mages and demons, and there's a lot of really powerful types of enemies that are demons. And you can basically, with that ability, with the mana clash, and I think it's in combination with something else, um, you can absolutely destroy them. You can absolutely destroy them without any issue. Okay, can I? Oh shit, Alistair's kind of dying here. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. Oh, Alistair, can you pop another potion? I'll need to also pop another potion. There's those particular there's this guy who's harassing my archer. Oh shit, Alistair's still fucking unconscious. All right, it's up to me, Jory, and Davith. Jory is really shitty at drinking, but I'm not giving him another one. Oh boy, and now it's just me and Davith, just the two rogues. I did not mean to loot at this very important moment in time. All right, and there's one more archer that we should be able to take care of, hopefully. Come on, Davith. Can you, like, hit something? Is that the damage that you did? That tiny... Oh my god, you missed. Okay. Come on, man. Whew. Alright. That was a difficult fight. I think mainly because I came from this side of the map. Usually when I fight this particular group of Darkspawn, I come from that side. I come from the side that the archers were in. So basically, you get to fight the archers first and hit and get them downed. Um, well, kill them, I guess, not get them downed. You get to do that first, and then you and then after that, you can safely fight the melee guys without getting riddled with arrows. I think we already got to that guy, the missionary who hid a box here with things for his wife. We're actually going to be keeping that lockbox for ourselves because there's a decent amount of money in it. Fun fact: in the vanilla game, there actually isn't much of a reason to take the lockbox to the wife. I don't know if they fixed that, but there was also not really much of a reason to open the lockbox and keep the contents because you wouldn't get a lot of rewards. Like there wasn't much in there. Um, the I have a fix, I think in Quinn's Ultimate DAO fix back, where it actually adds some extra rewards for if you open the lockbox. I'm not sure if it adds any rewards if you take it to bring it to the wife. But as you can see, it says we received 1 gold, 12 silver, 10 copper, and we also received. I like um, this little detail, which is we received a beloved amulet. It's really cheap, so just a few silver, but I do like that we have that in our inventory, and we can sell it. Unfortunately you can't give it to the wife. That would have been obviously a nice little thing to say. Oh well, we found just this amulet on his corpse or something. To lie and to just give the amulet and keep the rest of the contents for yourself. But unfortunately, obviously, the modder who made all of these little fixes did not want to go through all that effort, and I'm not even sure that it's necessarily possible to add a whole thing of dialogue to an existing character and to their existing dialogue without fucking something up. So, just this little fix of if you keep it, you do get some extra rewards. That's kind of nice. And you get the moral reward if you bring it back to her, which if you're playing a good character or an altruistic character, that might be very important to you. Especially if you're like big into role playing. So just to know that you did something important, that you did something nice for someone, that's quite good. Whoa, 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 whoa! Got to drink a potion. We did, I think, find some healing potions on somewhere, or I'm not sure. Maybe, well, I guess no one else used a potion other than me, because I do remember being at 19 potions. Yeah. Thankfully, I mean, Davith is quite good because he's in the back. He's in light armor, he's in the back, and he also does really shitty damage with his bow. I don't really know how to fix that. Um, I might need to figure that out. I am going to be looking at a guide on how to get archer builds to actually work and to not suck in Dragon Age Origins because, well, I'm going to have Sten, Liliana, and the dog as my main party. And I think I I really don't want to be kind of stuck with a shitty, with one of my party members being really, really shitty and not, barely doing any damage. Like, I'd much rather have her also, be a dual dagger warrior or a, sword and dagger warrior. That's also fine. Or axe and dagger, dual wielding warrior. Not warrior, God, a rogue. I'd rather have her be a dual wielding rogue than struggle with her sort of mage. Hmm. I'm having a little bit of an issue here because there's supposed to be a. I think I might need to go to a different location first. There's supposed to be a chase and trail sign there that you're supposed to click on. Now, I think I've done this before in a playthrough. See, he does say these things, and he was actually coded to say these things originally, and then they cut it away. But yeah, see, so they were invisible, they were stealthing, you couldn't see them, but Alistair did mention that they were here, so at least it gives you the kind of mental preparation aspect of being ambushed. You still have no idea where the Darkspawn actually are, and where they're going to be, who they're going to attack. But at least you know that they're there and they will attack soon. So you might as well not go too far because you might aggro something else as well. So yeah, but I was going to say about the chase and trail sign quest. It's a little bit difficult to do. As you can see, I'm highlighting things a lot of the time by pressing tab, by holding tab pressed, because you can't actually see these. Like you can look on the map, and as you can see, this one appeared here, and it's an X. But they don't always appear. Like there's a particular, I think, order in which you gotta click on them, and then some more are going to appear. I'm gonna go click on all of them just so that you can see kind of where they are. But I have also done the quest. Like I've not needed to click on all of these chase and trail signs. I think you only need to get the quest, and I'm not even sure that you need to get the quest by um, I think getting the journal of the missionary who was here to interact with the Chasen. You just really need to go to that place and check out that place, which is going to be a little bit later on in our journey towards the doing the main quest. And you really just need to go there. And I've seen that you can actually access the hidden cache of loot, whether or not you've clicked on all of these chase and trail signs. I'm not sure if that's intended, if they didn't properly code it to not appear unless you clicked on all of these. I don't know. Um, I would think that normally speaking, if you haven't clicked on all of these trail signs to actually figure out where they're pointing towards to find the hidden cache, you shouldn't be able to interact with it. But obviously, it's an old game. It was released in 2009. I've been playing it since 2010, and honestly, until this very year, like 2022, right? I've played this game a lot, and I think I've mentioned I've played the beginning of this game a lot, including this part in Ostagar in the wilds. I swear that until now, I had no idea that you could get that hidden cache without touching all of the hidden trail signs first. I always thought that that was what you had to do, so I always did it. And so maybe what a uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm getting overwhelmed. That's really bad. I don't know that I'm gonna survive that. Ha! Okay, maybe I survived that. Oh my god, I actually did survive that. Nice. Yeah, so I I think maybe it might be one of those situations where the developers were like, we're gonna add this as a quest. It's not really necessary for you to complete it, but people who are more into exploration and completing and they're actually interested in the quest are going to do it. People who aren't interested weren't going to do it anyway. And if those people who weren't interested end up finding the hidden cache just because they went and explored an area, that's fine. We reward them for exploring more than just doing more than just sort of following this um, map marker and just trying to get straight to it. And we reward them anyway. And the people who did all of the stuff and clicked on all of the markers to find and then went to the cache because it appeared on their map as a thing, they get rewarded anyway for doing the quest. So that's fine. And they'll think that they had to do that in order to find the cache, and they'll probably continue to do it. And for them, that's going to sound like a cool quest that they just did, even though it wasn't actually necessary to find the cache of loot. A little bit of an interesting quest design there. I'm not sure that I agree with adding a quest that's basically unnecessary and does nothing. And I'm not even sure. Like, see, there's this. Hmm, well, now I'm having a problem with the quest with the journal because, as you can see, I don't even have a quest in my journal in the Korkari Wilds that says, chasing cache or anything like that. I only have the Grey Warden's cache. But the fact of the matter is, we've touched every other. We've found every other sign on the map other than this last one. There's also some hidden darkspawn in here. But see, there's that one. That's the last one there that you find, and then you do get a sign of like a. I think that's when the quest appears on your journal, in your journal, to show you where the cache is, where the cache that you painstakingly went and found these signs for is. But it's not even a quest in your journal. It's just kind of like a, I guess, a hidden thing you can do. It's not really hidden since you have those things popping up everywhere on your map. Okay, we had to wait a long time, but it's really important that we get these guys out of the way. Because you see, I'm going to show you something terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible up ahead. I am. This particular fight is absolutely horrifying. Oh, I don't know. Well, so the fight up ahead is quite terrible. Um, Alistair has a penalty to willpower, and I have a penalty to fatigue. I kind of do want to use a lesser injury kit, but I won't just yet. So the thing about the fight up ahead is like that over there is the first mage, the first darkspawn mage that you encounter. Unlike the kind of shitty mage that we encountered in the origin story, which was the How mage, just some lady, probably mage mercenary um, that he employed in order to take over the castle. She was shitty. This darkspawn is not shitty. This darkspawn is going to fireball our asses, and so all of us need to go and attack it. Hopefully, I am not. Oh God. Okay. Now, Davith and me, because we fell, we're gonna be using a potion. Alistair, because he has not fallen, and Jory, because he has not fallen, are going to go and try to attack this guy. And then I'm also going to go forward. Oh, thank God. Alistair managed to get his shield pommel off. I'm going to try to stun it. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, Davith is down. He was burning, and he probably got attacked by some archers or something from afar. There's also a bunch of traps over here that you can kind of circumvent if you just hug the side of these little spikes here. Um, but we got super lucky. We got super lucky in this particular uh, version of the fight because Alistair managed to get his shield pommel off before before the mage managed to run away from him. Like he managed to start the fight, like not the fight, the ability. He managed to start the ability to activate the ability while the guy was still in his melee range. So even though you saw the mage running away from him, and technically speaking, he finished his animation of the shield pommel when the mage was no longer in range. Oh my! I was floating above that corpse because I was pushed into a corpse that wasn't supposed to be something that I could be pushed on. Oh shit! Some more darkspawn over here. Oh, okay. So even though we kind of immediately started fighting these darkspawn, we we just got like I think a millisecond of no combat. So we got Jory back. Not Jory, Davith. We got Davith back. It doesn't really help that much right now, but hey, at least we have someone else fighting, like shooting, even though he's not shooting very well. Well, I'm actually gonna switch out his. I'm gonna switch out his weapons to just Shit. I don't think I can use poisoned with him. So unfortunately, I really just have these. Okay, you know what? We can try. Can I take my weapons? No, they're restricted to me. But I think I can take Alistair's sword. This is technically not so. Oh, it requires 13 strength, um, which David doesn't have. But he can have a Darkspawn dagger and sword, and we will see if that does anything. I don't have a lot of potions, but I really don't want to redo this fight just because these rogues caught us kind of by surprise. Well, I guess they didn't really catch us by surprise. They just caught us at a really bad moment after we had just fought a huge ass group of Darkspawn plus a big scary mage. But hey, it's fine. Everything's fine. Now I do want to see. Oh, we didn't click the chase. See, this is what I'm saying. So you can actually see the cache right here. It is interactable, even though I haven't gone back and touched that final trail sign. We're gonna go and touch the trail sign because I do believe that it adds that, like as you touch the final one, you get um, a quest. You get a quest marker for. Well, no, you've done stepped in the fucking trap, Jory. Right. So see, this is the last one. I clicked on it. Nothing seemed to happen, but oh my god, nothing seemed to happen. Did I miss one? Did I miss? Okay, we're gonna go back and see if I missed any trail signs because I really shouldn't have. Like, there's two guys. There's two missionaries. There's the one that we found in water early on, and then there's the other one that we found where some wolves and darkspawn were fighting. Oh, look, there's another one. Okay, we didn't pass through here because I was really confused. I do know that there's definitely a quest that appears in your journal if you click on all of the chase and trail signs. So I'm going to show that to you, and we can even look at our experience levels. So I think we finished fighting everything in this area up until the chase and cache. Nothing new should be attacking us. So I'm currently at 2,470 experience. I click on the sign. I am still at 2,470 experience, but suddenly I have a quest, and the quest is updated, even though I did not have it until now. And it says the trail signs of the Chasen have alerted you to an old cache in the Korkari Wilds. Um, and then you do have this map marker here showing you where the cache is, even though, as you saw, before we got this quest, it was there and it was interactable, it shined, it had the little glimmer of loot. I believe there is an option in the settings if you want to not see all of these things that have loot. I believe you can say in gameplay, you can uncheck this to not show shimmer around objects with loot. Um, I wouldn't really recommend that because this is not the kind of game that has very high fidelity. It's really quite an old game, and you might miss some really important things, especially some really important items that might contain containers that might contain quest items. And then you're going to have to go back through an area to search for something that you didn't find and you didn't know was even a possibility to be interacted with. Like, I think if you press tab or something else on consoles, I'm not sure what it is, you can still see these things that you can interact with. And so obviously you're going to know that that's something you can probably click on, or something that has at least some kind of importance. But I do recommend having the shimmer on. Like, I know it's not very um, immersive or anything like that, but um, it is it's fine. Like this is an old game. You're probably not playing it for immersion. Let's be real. Now I did do something here in the last playthrough, like of this particular thing, which was that I added these chastened robes instead of the light plated armor because I thought I was getting attacked way too much. I was getting targeted way too much when I had two warriors specifically with a threatening aura to them, who were not getting attacked as much as I was, probably because I was dressed in steel armor and I was doing a decent amount of damage with my daggers. But I wanted this because I also want to show, probably in this playthrough, either with my character or with Liliana's, possibly, depending on which particular character will have the higher dexterity. But I do want to show that a very high dexterity really um, really matters in this game, and it's something that you should probably consider increasing whenever you can, especially for a rogue, and sometimes even for a warrior. For a sword and shield warrior, it's really important. It's way better to increase your dexterity than it is to increase your constitution, because your constitution. Okay, I think we can give Davith back a bow, and this Wild's bow gives him some nature resistance. I'm not sure that that's particularly good, but it is made out of yew, and it is a short bow, which means that he can probably shoot faster with it. So let's try this one for now. We're gonna take everything away anyway. Right. So wait, hold on a second. Nah, I'm gonna. Yeah, let me save this because I really like this campfire. So campfire for vid. Um, I really like this campfire, and I think I'm gonna do a little video of my character standing around here, just for an introduction, because it looks really peaceful. It looks really nice. Might try to position my characters in a way together, like everyone in the party. But I needed a save for that, so here we go. We're almost done with the wilds portion of the game. We're gonna get to meet Morrigan, who is one of my favorite characters in the Dragon Age series. If you don't know who she is, she's pretty nice. She's pretty cool. I don't know. I think she's quite polarizing. I think some people love her, some people hate her. I don't think there's that many people who are completely indifferent to her, simply because I don't know. I guess she has a strong enough personality that it means it means it's gonna cause a lot of reactions, a lot of strong reactions, strong personality, strong reactions. At least I don't know. That's what I think. All right, everyone else seems to be doing fine. I really don't want to use a potion right now, but I have to anyway. I don't want to use a potion because we still have a fight to do before we can get to the Grey Warden cache. Okay, it's fine. I only used one potion. Jory can absolutely die. Jory and Davith can absolutely. Uh, okay, he's fine. I was like, wait a second, he's not coming back up. Jory and Davith can die because they actually end up dying. So any injuries that they get, they're not that important. Well, Jory did not get to heal up, so I think we're just gonna try to stop. Don't go. No, God. Well, okay. I am going to get Davith a little bit closer, and let's try to do quick, rapid shot. Like let's just try to do it with rapid shot because maybe I misremembered, and maybe it's aim that's really terrible to have, and rapid shot is actually good. It's entirely possible that I misremembered. But no, you know what I think it is? I think it is that you need a bow that has the rapid aim property on it. Sorry, I'm gonna make some more health poultices with Alistair. I think you need a bow that has the rapid aim property, and then you Oh shit, that's the Herlock Alpha. That's a big boy. I'm gonna go save Davith, hopefully. And then you can use aim, and it's not going to increase, like it's not going to decrease your attack speed that much since you already have a bow that lets you attack faster. Poor Davith, he also fell just as I killed this guy with a cool messy kill animation. Oh, oh wait, Alistair also fell to one guy. Alistair, you really fell to just one dude with a bow. God, okay, it's fine. We're fine. Yes, I think you can tell I have never actually played through the entire game with an archer character. Like I played through the game at some point. I think I had one of those mods that allowed you to respecialize um, freely, just with like using a potion or something like that. And then I played through the game normally, and I respecialized into a character that had full archery talents because there's an achievement where you have to get full archery talents or something like that. Or I played on easy, when I just like put automatic tactics on my character, and I usually mainly just controlled another party member who was not an archer. Either one of these things sounds like something that I would have done, because archery is just something I don't understand it. Ranged combat other than magic, I don't understand it. Anyway, let's meet Morgan.
Are you a vulture, I wonder? A scavenger, poking amidst a corpse whose bones were long since cleaned? Or merely an intruder, come into these darkspawn-filled wilds of mine in search of easy prey? What say you, Scavenger or intruder?
I am neither. The Grey Wardens once owned this tower.
'Tis a tower no longer. The wilds have obviously claimed this desiccated corpse. I have watched your progress for some time. Where do they go, I wondered? Why are they here? And now you disturb ashes none have touched for so long. Why is that?
Don't answer her. She looks chastened, and that means others may be nearby.
Oh, you fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
She's a witch of the wild, she is. She'll turn us into toads.
Witch of the wilds. Such idle fancies, those legends. Have you no minds of your own? You there, handsome lad. Tell me your name and I shall tell you mine. Let us be civilized.
You can call me Leon.
And you may call me Morrigan, if you wish. Shall I guess your purpose? You sought something in that chest? Something that is here no longer?
Here no longer. You stole them, didn't you? You're some kind of sneaky witch thief.
How very eloquent. How does one steal from dead men?
Sneaky witch thief.
Easily, it seems. Those documents are Grey Warden property, and I suggest you return them.
I will not, for 'twas not I who removed them. Invoke a name that means nothing here any longer if you wish. I am not threatened.
Then who removed them?
'Twas my mother, in fact.
Your mother?
Yes, my mother. Did you assume I spawned from a log?
A thieving, weird-talking log, perhaps?
Not all in the wilds are monsters. Flowers grow as well as toads. If you wish, I will take you to my mother. 'Tis not far from here, and you may ask her for your papers if you like.
We should get those treaties, but I dislike this Morrigan's sudden appearance. It's too convenient.
Why are you interested in helping us?
Why not? I do not meet many people here. Are you also mistrustful?
She asks us, are you also mistrustful? But she is also extremely mistrustful once you get to know her. She doesn't open up easily. I say we go with her.
She'll put us all in the pot, she will.
that whole conversation, it has classic lines like swooping is bad.
Greetings, Mother. I bring before you 4 Grey Wardens who.
I see them, girl. Hmm. Much as I expected.
Are we supposed to believe you were expecting us?
You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Shut one's eyes tight or open one's arms wide. Either way, one's a fool.
She's a witch, I tell you. We shouldn't be talking to her. Quiet, Davith. If she's really a witch, do you want to make her mad?
There is a smart lad. Sadly irrelevant to the larger scheme of things, but it is not I who decides. Believe what you will. And what of you? Do you possess a different viewpoint? Or do you believe as the others do?
Now, I'm really interested in Flemeth. This is Flemeth. She's a witch of the wilds. She's also containing the spirit of an elven god, kind of. Well, in fact, a very powerful elf. And she just said, that she just looked at Jory and she said that he's like irrelevant to the larger scheme of things, and that she doesn't get to decide. I wasn't sure whether she gets to decide whether he believes or not in what she says, or if she doesn't get to decide if he's important. I don't know. I just found that line quite interesting. Um, I believe you have something we need.
They did not come to listen to your wild tales, Mother.
True, they came for their treaties, yes? And before you begin barking, your precious seal wore off long ago. I have protected these.
You. Oh, you protected them.
And why not? Take them to your Grey Wardens and tell them this Blight's threat is greater than they realize.
Thank you for returning them.
Such manners. Always in the last place you look. Like stockings. Oh, do not mind me. You have what you came for.
Time for you to go, then.
Do not be ridiculous, girl. These are your guests.
Oh, very well. I will show you out of the woods. Follow me.
All right. We've come back. We are very close to getting to level 5. I believe that once we talk to Duncan, get through the whole joining thing, we're going to get to level 5 and complete the joining, which gives us an extra talent point. Very nice. We can get momentum um, as a skill, as a talent. Activate sustained ability. There we go. Until then, however, I will be taking Davith and Jory's weapons. You can also take their armor, but then it makes the cutscene of the joining quite hilarious, quite humorous, because they will be in their small clothes while you are doing something super serious. And while that's usually funny, maybe not the best thing to do. In I failed. Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna try again. While that's funny, I thought maybe people would want to see a decently serious playthrough of the game. Obviously, it's not completely serious because I do think that our character, seeing just the way he is, as a roguish noble who probably didn't take his teachings very seriously at home, and who probably wanted to be different, and rebellious and whatnot. He's a little bit selfish. He's a little bit, he's neutral. He's not stickler to the rules, but he's not super chaotic either. But I do think he has a sense of humor, and so that's something that I definitely want to show in this playthrough as much as is possible. Of course, I'm not going to go to extremes like taking these guys' armor off and making them naked for the joining, because that's
Hello again. Is there something you need?
right. Let's sell some things. However, the enchanted dagger is pretty good. Um, it's not amazing by any means, but it's not terrible. The barbarian mace is pretty good because it adds to strength. So if we're gonna have something with a strength requirement that we can't quite meet, but we are missing just a little bit, we can use that. The chasing crusher sucks a lot because it has -5 to attack. Like that is a terrible penalty. The wild's bow is the best kind of bow that we have so far. So if we're going to be using Liliana as an archer, I'm going to keep those. I'm also going to keep these fire arrows for now. I might decide to sell them later on, but in the unlikely case that um, we get stuck in a fight a bit earlier on against some darkspawn, against like a large group of darkspawn, and that can happen sometimes if we accidentally get into like a random encounter that is a bit too much for us. And there's a couple of those. They're a little bit too dangerous at early levels, especially on nightmare difficulty. If we get stuck on something like that, to have some fire arrows, to have something extra that could, change the tide of battle, to be extremely, to be extremely uh, exaggerated about it. Obviously, extremely dramatic. Does Alistair? Is this better? No, this is not better than the shield that Alistair has. Okay, interestingly enough, I don't know if people who play this game a lot have noticed, but this is something that I didn't really realize about cowls is that not all of them are restricted to mages. This particular one, the Enchanter's Arming Cap, is, but the one that gives just +5 to mental resistance is not actually just restricted to mages. So if you are missing a decent helmet that gives maybe more than just a little bit of armor to your character, you might want to just give them a cowl. It is very funny looking. It is terrible. But it is, technically speaking, it is more useful than just like, well, let me just show you, right? You have an iron helmet. It gives you +1 to armor, which is really, really barely anything at all, especially for medium armor. That's it's not very good, and it gives +1.5% fatigue, which it's like that's a decent amount of fatigue. That's quite a lot of fatigue for barely any armor. Um, and you have this; it doesn't give any fatigue. It doesn't give any armor either, but it gives you mental resistance. That's better. Like I would say, yeah, if you have this that gives 0.75 armor, it doesn't give you any fatigue. It doesn't add to your fatigue, and it gives you physical resistance. Absolutely, that's great. I'm not gonna buy that because it's made out of rough leather, so it's really shitty. I don't want to spend my money on that. I don't want to waste my money on that. But just as an idea, if you have a rough studded helmet versus an apprentice cowl versus a helmet, I would say this is the best. This is the second best, and then this is the worst. But like if you have it in your inventory and you don't have anything else, put it on. But otherwise, it's shitty. Just sell it. Right. We have some studded leather armor, but I do need to see what we're gonna get once Davith and Jory die. So I'm not going to be buying any armor from the quartermaster just yet. I'm just going to be selling some things that we're not going to be using. You know what? We might use Deathroot extract. We might add poison to our weapons just because, particularly Deathroot extract, it's cheap to make. You just need Deathroot in a flask, and it can stun targets, which in turn can help you be able to backstab them once you have coup de grace. I'm gonna sell. Which one of these was it? I think sapphire, emerald, topaz, and malachite are things that you can use to make your army of dwarves more powerful. But emeralds are really, 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 really expensive. They're like 50 silver. So I'm going to want to sell that. I'm going to keep it for now because I might be able to sell it at a slightly better price at Bodun's. I'm not sure if there's a particular merchant, traveling merchant that joins your team. Well, doesn't join your team, but kind of joins and follows you around as you go through the land, as you go through Ferelden. And he says he gives you a discount on his goods. Now, I have no idea whether that discount is actually implemented, or not. Oh yeah, let's buy some more potions. I know we can make some, but we can't make infinite amounts. We have 13 Alfred now. Right, let's look at this guy's fancy stuff real quick. Doesn't have any good weapons. Has some heavy armor that's not very good in terms of material. And then he does have, big health poultices. We have 8 of those. That's pretty decent. I think we'll be fine. I hope we'll be fine. Right. Okay, let's get the joining over with. I don't believe that there's any other yellow named guy, like elite guy. We can go check to see if yeah, okay, so the sergeant is still there. So in terms of, elite targets to steal from, you can try to steal from this guy again. We stole 3 silver 89 copper. That is a pretty good amount to steal. I'm not even sure that without the stealing improvements mod, you can steal that much from a character. Honestly, like stealing is really shitty in the vanilla game. Like I cannot recommend stealing improvements enough. It doesn't make stealing overpowered, but it does make it at least marginally useful. And you can also see in the middle of your screen that thing that appears and it tells you what you actually stole. Otherwise, it just sort of goes here into the left, in the lower left corner, and it says items added or items received. And then, if you haven't looked at your inventory in a while, you're going to see multiple things highlighted, and you're not even going to know what you stole and if it was of any use. I'm going to try to steal from Duncan. I don't think I can. He's a boss level guy. I can barely steal from yellow, from elites. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's just talk to him.
So you returned from the wilds. Have you been successful?
We have.
Good. I've had the circle mages preparing. With the blood you've retrieved, we can begin the joining immediately.
Now, will you tell us what this ritual is about?
I will not lie. We Grey Wardens pay a heavy price to become what we are. Fate may decree that you pay your price now rather than later.
Is that why the joining is so secret?
If only such secrecy were unnecessary, and all understood the necessity of such sacrifice. Sadly, that will never be so.
Let's go then. I'm anxious to see this joining now.
I agree. Let's have it done. Then let us begin. Alistair, take them to the old temple.
Let's have it done, Jory says. He's gonna change his mind real quick.
The more I hear about this joining, the less I like it.
Are you blubbering again?
Why all these damn tests? Have I not earned my place?
Maybe it's tradition. Maybe they're just trying to annoy you.
Calm down, there's nothing we can do about it now.
I only know that my wife is in Highover with a child on the way. If they had warned me, it just doesn't seem fair.
Would you have come if they'd warned you? Maybe that's why they don't. The Wardens do what they must, right?
Including sacrificing us?
I'd sacrifice a lot more if I knew it would end the blight.
He does make a good point.
You saw those darkspawns tonight. Wouldn't you die to protect your pretty wife from them? Maybe you'll die. Maybe we'll all die. If nobody stops the darkspawn, we'll die for sure.
I've just never faced a foe I could not engage with my blade. At last, we come to the joining. The Grey Wardens were founded during the First Blight, when humanity stood on the verge of annihilation. So it was that the first Grey Wardens drank of darkspawn blood and mastered their taint. We're going to drink the blood of those creatures. As the first Grey Wardens did before us, as we did before you. This is the source of our power and our victory.
Those who survive the joining become immune to the taint. We can sense it in the darkspawn and use it to slay the archdemon.
It's not really true. The people who survive the taint, they're not really immune to the taint. They just don't immediately become ghouls and die of the taint, but it is still affecting them, just very slowly. And in about 30 years or less, depending on on each person's constitution, you do slowly become more Darkspawn like, and eventually, instead of turning into a ghoul, Grey Wardens usually go to die in battle fighting Darkspawn in the deep roads underground. So it's not really true. What Alistair says there is not really true. Maybe he doesn't really know at this point, since he's such a junior member of the Order and hasn't really been part of the Grey Wardens for a long time. Maybe he doesn't know the truth either. Maybe he doesn't know that you really. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just like a slip in writing or something. Let's get on with it then.
We speak only a few words prior to the joining, but these words have been said since the first. Alistair, if you would.
Join us, brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten, and that one day we shall join you.
Davith, step forward.
It's really such a shame that Davith dies. He would have been a very interesting companion.
Maker's breath. I am sorry, Davith. Step forward, Jory.
But I have a wife, a child. Had I known.
There is no turning back.
No, you ask too much. There is no glory in this.
I am sorry.
I mean, I think that Duncan
But the joining is not yet complete.
something else instead of just straight up killing him. Could have just
You are
disabled
called
him.
upon to submit yourself to the taint for the greater good. From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
Like, see, the thing is, I think that Duncan could have easily disarmed Jory, because he's obviously way better at fighting than just like a basic knight, and has had a lot more experience. And then you could just force him to drink the blood anyway, and you know,
It is finished. Welcome.
2 more deaths. In my joining, only one of us died, but it was horrible. I'm glad at least one of you made it through.
How do you feel?
So I feel like if Jory had survived the blood, then he would become a Grey Warden. He would have to deal with that, but he would have survived, so there wouldn't have been any reason for him to be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you've done this." Um, and then if he didn't survive, well, he didn't survive, so it would have been the same thing as killing him. But at least you gave him a chance to survive. I don't know. I still can't believe you killed Sir Jory.
Jory was warned that there was no turning back, as were you all. When he went for his blade, however, he left me no choice. It brought me no pleasure to end his life. The Blight demands sacrifices from us all. Thankfully, you stand here as proof they are not all made in vain.
Did you have dreams? I had terrible dreams after my joining.
Such dreams come when you begin to sense the Darkspawn, as we all do. That and many other things can be explained in the months to come.
Before I forget, there is one last part to your joining. We take some of that blood and put it in a pendant. Something to remind us of those who didn't make it this far.
Cool and morbid.
Take some time. When you're ready, I'd like you to accompany me to a meeting with the king.
Very well.
The meeting is to the west, down the stairs. Please attend as soon as you're able.
Yeah. So you don't get much. I mean, you get the sort of stuff that the previous guys were wearing. So instead of this lightly plated stuff that is restricted to us from the sort of modded Origin, we can actually just replace that with some actual appropriate armor for ourselves. I don't think we actually have a helmet, however. I will try to go to the quartermaster and see if I can get that sorted. For this, 24 dexterity is absolutely enough. We will need 26 dexterity for dual weapon expert, but we also need level 9. So it's okay for now to just put these points into strength and to get ourselves momentum. Momentum is really, really good. I believe that in the main, in the base vanilla game, it's a bit difficult to use momentum because it does. I think it. I'm not sure if it actually consumes stamina, you know, every single second or something like that. But I definitely have a fix. I'm not sure if it affects momentum in any way, but I do have a fix that makes it. I don't. It makes it usable, and it's quite nice to use.
Hello again.
Hello again. Let's see. We got a stupid longsword. Otherwise, these are decent weapons that I don't want to get rid of. I do want to get rid of this um, restricted to me armor that's kind of useless. Since we got some stuff, we got this heavy chainmail boots. They're made out of iron. We're not really going to need them, to be perfectly honest. The heavy armor we get in Lothering is much better, and there's much better armor than iron. And we're really just gonna have Sten as a humanoid warrior. Otherwise, we've got a dog, so we don't need that. Mm. I think we're fine. Otherwise, this unfortunately is still just rough armor, so I'm not gonna be buying it. Um, do I want lesser injury kits or something? I don't think so. And then his other goods are. I know that I checked them before, but now that I have some more money, I was considering that I might have missed something that I might have wanted to buy. No, okay, I didn't. All right, so we've done that. We've done everything that we can. I do actually wonder. I don't think it is. I don't think we can check that right now. Um, oh, he's still there. Right, I pressed tab to just. I wanted to see if the prisoner was still there, and he is. So, yeah, he is. I don't know what happens to him. We never actually find out.
Stand by the Grey Wardens in this assault.
You risk too much, Kalen. The Darkspawn Horde is too dangerous for you to be playing hero on the front lines.
That's the case. Perhaps we should wait for the Orlesian forces to join us after all.
I must repeat my protest to your fool notion that we need the Orlesians to defend ourselves.
It is not a fool notion. Our arguments with the Orlesians are a thing of the past, and you will remember who is king.
How fortunate Marek did not live to see his son ready to hand Ferelden over to those who enslaved us for a century.
Then our current forces will have to suffice, won't they? Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
And this is the young lord from Highever I met earlier. I understand congratulations are in order.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Every Grey Warden is needed now. You should be honored to join their ranks.
Your fascination with glory and legends will be your undoing, Kalen. We must attend to reality.
Fine. Speak your strategy. The Grey Wardens and I draw the Darkspawn into charging our lines, and then?
You will alert the tower to light the beacon, signaling my men to charge from
To flank
cover.
the Darkspawn, I remember. This is the Tower of Ishal in the ruins, yes? Well, who shall light this beacon?
I have a few men stationed there. It's not a dangerous task, but it is vital.
Then we should send our best. Send Alistair and the new Grey Warden to make sure it's done.
Yeah, I'll do my best, Your Majesty.
You rely on these Grey Wardens too much. Is that truly wise?
Enough of your conspiracy theories, Loghain. Grey Wardens battle the Blight no matter where they're from.
Your Majesty, you should consider the possibility of the archdemon appearing.
There have been no signs of any dragons in the wilds.
Isn't that what your men are here for, Duncan?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the tower and its beacon are unnecessary. The
We
Circle
will
of
not
Magi...
trust any lives to your spells, Mage. Save them for the Darkspawn.
Enough. This plan will suffice. The Grey
Wardens will light the beacon. Thank you, Loghain. I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Ferelden to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Canon. A glorious moment for us all.
You heard the plan. You and Alistair will go to the Tower of Ishal and ensure the beacon is lit.
What? I won't be in the battle.
This is by the King's personal request, Alistair. If the beacon is not lit, Tern Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
So he needs two Grey Wardens standing up there holding the torch, just in case, right?
I'm ready to go.
Yes, so am I.
You'll need to cross the gorge and head through the gate and up to the tower entrance. From the top, you'll overlook the entire valley.
Sounds easy enough.
We will signal you when the time is right. Alistair will know what to look for.
I know what I have to do.
Then I must join the others. From here, you two are on your own. Remember, you are both Grey Wardens. I expect you to be worthy of that title.
Duncan, may the Maker watch over you.
May he watch over us all.
Right. My apologies. I don't know if you could hear me yawning earlier, but it is 3 a.m. over here, and I also played D&D earlier today, so I am quite tired. So I'm gonna finish this particular episode over here. I think I'm just going to give Alistair his helmet because it's cool, and this belt because it's also cool, and then I'm going to level him up just so that we get that out of the way. Give him a little bit more strength, a little bit of dexterity, and then I do think we might be getting into fights with more spellcasters in the future, and there's really just, I think, a few in the tower. But while we have Alistair, we'll use him. But that was it for today's episode. We got to the army camp, we explored it, we stole from some people, we went into the wilds, we gathered up some darkspawn blood, found some old Grey Warden's documents, and met Morrigan, then and her mother. Then we came back. We underwent the joining. Davith and Jory unfortunately died, and now we're left with Alistair and our trusty dog Barkspawn. I hope that's what I named him earlier in the previous playthrough. I couldn't remember. I hope that I remembered correctly. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the series, and if you want to see more of this, just let me know.